Foster care system, the good, the bad, the all. So imagine you're at home one day sitting with your brothers and sisters and your mom, dad, whoever, and you get a knock on your door. A few minutes later, you hear your parents like arguing or like not arguing with each other, but like with them, like, and then you hear confusion. They take you to your room to collect pretty much a bag full of anything that's important to you right now, a couple of clothes, items, whatever. Next thing you know, you're guided to a car, with complete strangers going somewhere. Your mom and dad's not there, but you knew your mom and dad were upset when you left. You don't know what's going on really. But you know what you know is going on right now. You're not with your parents. Oh, shoot. There are a lot of people who we know who are former foster care and former Lillian foster care. Marilyn Monroe, Eleanor Roosevelt, their president's wife, Steve Jobs, Willie Nelson, Malcolm X, and Tiffany Haddish. Foster care basically is a time period when you're not with your parents, so they can get whatever it was like that made you get taken. They can get it fixed, pretty much. With the foster care system, they really began with like the English and like when we first got here in America, pretty much. Like poor English children would go to be with like rich people, like to help out, like if their parents died or they didn't know, orphans and all that stuff. Well, that was the beginning of it. Like it was more because your parents died more so than abuse or anything. Well, in like 1853, this guy Charles Loring Brace founded he saw all these kids out everywhere, like just nobody could care for them, so he made this like transportation way by train to go to camps, various camps throughout the United States, mainly in the Midwest and other places. They would go there and they would go with people who cared for them. Some kids were treated nicely, other kids were treated, like pretty much slaves and all that stuff. And then in 1807, there was a lady who was an attorney for like the dogs people, what is it called, the ASPCA, who takes care of dogs. There was no thing for kids. There were things for animals and how they were supposed to be treated. So she took up a case for a girl who was being abused by her people who taking care of her. And she won the court. She won in court, took it to court, won, and then the foster parent or lady went to jail and all kind of other stuff happened to her. And then in the 1900s, they began like foster care, like supervised, making sure, tracking where kids were and keeping tabs on them. So why do kids end up in foster care? A lot of it is because physical, sexual abuse, neglect, things like that, lack of supervision, or it could be like you left your kid with someone and something happened at their house, so they take your kid right with them. Or it could be your parents died, or drugs, anything pretty much. Incarceration, false allegations. Like somebody can get mad at you and call in and say, hey, I saw so-and-so doing this, this, and that, and it's not true, but you have no way to prove it untrue. So your kids get taken and you have to go through all these loops, parenting classes, drug courts. Even if you're not on drugs, they still want you to do it. Routine drug exams, checking in with these people. So, like in foster care, you don't have, they don't tell who called on you. Like say somebody reported you for like drug trafficking, something. You can go and be like, where did you see me? When did you see me? Like ask questions. In this place, you don't have that same opportunity. They don't tell you who called. They don't tell you anything other than they say that this happened, this happened, this happened, and this happened. And that's it. You have to fight that. And if you can't, I'm sorry. Most of the time your kids get taken. And that's that, They terminate your rights. And then if you get pregnant and any other kids you have, if one was taken, they usually do the same thing with the next. So, and false medical neglect. Like, I know a person whose kid was taken. They said that they had like 4 to 6 fractures. Took the kid, CPS came to the hospital, all of this. And a few weeks later, they saw that there were no fractures. They took him out, said all this happened, took the kid. And the parents found out like months later that, they found out that this never happened, like they made a mistake and they never told them. They just kept going. Like your kid had all these fractures, where they come from. Even though they knew that it wasn't happening, they just kept going. Like that was grounds for a lawsuit because they took these kids out of the home. They did this, this, and that, tore his family apart for months and months. So they kept going. Instead of saying, hey, we messed up, they kept going. so that false medical neglect gets your kids taken as well. So in Kentucky, Matt Bevins had a speech that he gave. He said as of March 3rd, 2019, there are 9,786 children in the foster care system with active placements. That can mean like with family, that could mean with like foster care, a relative. It could be a friendly friend that you were able to get cleared, like background checks and all this stuff, a place for them to stay, like sufficient income to take care of them until the parents get it fixed. And then the average, well, right here, 33% of the kids of those 9,786 children are in foster homes, 10% are with families, so 945 children are, as of this, it's changed since then, these kids have been taken since this time, but 12% are in relative custody or fictive kin placement, which is like the friends that you can consider family, and others are divided, like, jails, like group homes, other things like that. And then the average time a kid is in the foster care system is 22 months. So if you're in there 15 of 22 months, they terminate your rights. That's it, And that can be, you can have 6 kids, and all these kids maybe won't be in the same home. They'll have to grow up and try to find each other or something. It's very damaging to these people.